to Interviewer.AI. Let me quickly show you how you use our platform. So this section will talk about how do you add your business logo. The logo that you see here can be customized to your business logo. All you have to do is go to your overview page, click on this section, go into the profile section. Once you hit on the profile section, you will have certain options. You can correct your name if in case it's entered incorrectly. Email ID would not be possible to change. If you have used a personal email ID and you would like to change it to a business email ID, you can just reach out to us with both your email IDs. As a one-off, we could actually make the change for you. You can update your company name here. You can put in some information about your company. And this is the place where you can choose your business logo and hit the save profile. Once you update your logo, the logo will reflect here. And most importantly, this will also reflect in all the email communications that you have with the candidates. It's important that you ensure your brand has been recognized by your candidates. And do not forget to update your business logo. Let's take a quick look at the team section. Team section helps you add team members or users who will be supporting you in your recruitment activity. Should you wish to add any team members, all you have to do here is click on this invite new users, enter an email ID and hit enter. The moment you send an invite to any of the users, they will get an invitation email and they'll be able to access the platform. Please do bear in mind that once you invite a user, they do not have access to any of the interviews, which means you will have to go back into the interviews section. You will have to go to this ellipsis and click on this assign to option. Once you click on the assign to, you would be able to assign a specific interviews to specific users. Or you could also remove some users from any of the interviews here and then just hit save. Once this information is updated, all you have to do is ask the user to re-log in and they'll be able to see the information of those interviews that are assigned to them. I hope this helps you. The page that you're looking at is the overview page. Here, you're able to see your weekly overall progress in comparison to job interviews that you created, the applications you received, and also the video responses that have been recorded in the last week. You can also see quickly here all your recent responses. You can just scroll through them, or you can look at the sourcing funnel here, which shows you how many candidates have applied and how many have moved forward. So you can actually shuffle through all the funnel here just to understand how many candidates are at a specific stage. Should there be any tweaks that are required, you could consider it and you can make the necessary changes. Now let's quickly take a look at the interview section. The interview section is available right here on the top. You can click on interviews and you can look at all the job interviews that you've created. You can also do a quick search or filter through your interviews as well. Now you're able to see certain information here. Interview name, you can look at when was it created by, the expiration date, which is editable. So in case you would like to expire an interview, you can straight away do that here. And you also can look at the candidate status on each interview. So you can see where are the candidates lying. Also the status of the interview. So you can see live and expired jobs by this icon. We have a quick copy interview link here. So should you want to share this interview on a social media or on a LinkedIn post, please copy the link straight from here. You can also share directly on LinkedIn on your feed as well. We also have share on Twitter. We have certain options here which allows you to add candidates or delete candidates. So you can manage your candidates here. You can assign interviews to other users too. As an admin, you would be having this right. You can change background, edit job. Should you feel there are some changes that have to be made to the job description or the type of job, then you can do it here. You can also duplicate a job without the hassle of creating a new one. In case the job is expired, just feel free to archive it. Once you archive an interview, the second time you would get an option to delete it. So please bear that in mind. Now, let's take a look at how do you create an interview. Creating an interview is a very simple step. So click on new interview here. Once you click on new interview, you will select a job function. So you can simply pick from one of the job functions. Let me just pick sales. Once I pick up sales, I can actually add the job title as well. So let's say sales development representative. What type of a job is it? Is it a full-time, part-time, internship, or a contract? Let me take it as a part-time. You can also choose the location of the job. Now, it's very important because this will allow the candidates from that region to apply to your job as well. So let me just type in, and there you go. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to set an expiry date. I see this job may be filled within another 2 months. I'm just going to select one of the dates there. And the work map assessment that's available here, you can actually choose to set it on or off as per your request. So certain jobs may not require the work map assessment. In that case, just simply turn that off. You can paste your job description here. You also have the option of turning off resume requirements. So if you're hiring someone very senior and you don't want them to share the profile, with just a quick video interview, you can turn off the resume requirement as well. If there are certain jobs which are very junior and you don't think they would have a LinkedIn profile, feel free to edit that. You can also allow the candidates to retake the whole interview multiple times. Don't be afraid, you won't get multiple responses here. You will only get the final submission of the candidate, but it allows the candidate to do the interview several times so that they can give their best. But should you feel that they're going to rehearse the interview, please feel free to turn this off. Now, in a situation where you have some additional questions, so let's say I'm going to ask, do you have experience selling automobiles? So I can give them an option of yes and no, and then I can save. So these kind of questions you could actually put in here. You can add multiple questions. If you'd like to have a summary from the candidate before the start interview, just turn this on. We also have some additional settings here where you can redirect the candidates once they have completed the interview. So feel free to enter your URL, that's your website or your careers page. The platform is currently available in 4 languages, which means we are able to translate the candidate's instruction into 4 different languages: English, Mandarin, Polish, and Spanish. Please bear in mind that the AI scoring doesn't get affected by this. It's only to change the transactions for the translation for the candidate. We also have the manual rating parameters. Should you feel that these are not enough for you, but you would like to manually rate some parameters, just feel free to enter them here. You also have the option of adding the introduction video or maybe just a picture to make the job look aligned with your branding, and then just hit next. Once you hit next, this is the second and the final step of creating the interview, that's adding your question. I always like to add my own question. So what makes you happy? And then I can give how much ever time I'd like to give. I can add some questions that are already there in my data bank as well. So let's say, how do I describe your leadership style? And then I can choose how much time they're going to answer that. I can also randomize the categories. So the categories that you see here are also available here. And then let's say I'm just going to choose stakeholder management, which has 4 questions. And I'm going to give it to my candidates. Now this will actually realign. So it will present these questions to each candidate separately. So you don't have to worry about someone rehearsing, oh, I know this question 1, question 2, question 3, but in this case, it will keep shuffling the questions. If you would like to create your own category, simply click on this and you can add name, description, and then add your questions right here. It's really simple. Once that's done, just hit on create interview, you are done. So your interview has been created now. So now in the earlier session, we've actually seen how do you create an interview. Now, once you've created an interview, all you have to do is either copy the link of the interview and share it on your LinkedIn posting or your job board or your social media, or you could invite your candidates as well. So the second option would be probably adding a candidate manually. Should you have very less candidates and you could add them manually, then yes, you could do that. If you would like to import an Excel file, that option is available too. So you can simply upload an Excel file here. And once that's done, you will be able to see all your candidates listed here. Now, if a candidate doesn't respond to your invitation in a good amount of time, then you can select this and you can also notify the candidates over here by choosing your own email ID. Now, once an email has been sent out to the candidate, you can also, when you're adding candidates manually here by using import by CSV or new candidate, you have to send this first time send interview link. All you have to do is click on this option, check all the candidates, click on this option, and you can edit this information. Please bear in mind this branding would be your business logo, do not forget to update your logo on a platform. You can update the messaging, you can change it, and then you can just hit send email to one candidate. So this candidate has got an email and he will continue the interview. Now, once that has been done, you will start receiving candidates that have responded to your question. Let's quickly take a look at that. So earlier we were able to see how do you add candidates to your interview. Now, once you get candidate responses in your interview, you're able to assess them as well. Let us see how do you assess the candidates that have applied to your job. So I've got several jobs here. Let us look at this job. I'm clicking on the job name and I'll be able to see all the candidates that have applied to it. And it will also show me the candidates that have not completed the evaluation as well. So here's the whole list of candidates and you can see their information here. You can see the scoring. You can shortlist or reject the candidate based on the score, or you can deep dive into a candidate's information as well. Let's go deep into a candidate's profile and check what information do we have. So you can see all the candidates that have applied right here. I can scroll through them. Should I want to change my selection, I can also go and click on any other candidate as well. So once I click on a candidate's information, I can see when did they apply, see their resume, their LinkedIn profile. And if I'm convinced with the candidate, I can also schedule an interview. I'm able to look at all the responses that have been given by the candidate to the questions that I have presented. I can play the video interview. So you get a first-hand experience of the candidate. You can look at the speech to text. And should you feel that you don't want to look at the speech to text, you have the option of turning it off as well. Once that's done, let's go further down and we're able to see an entire score on how did the candidate's resume score against the job description. So you see an overall score of the resume to the job description, a skill score, that's the skills that have been mentioned in the CV versus job description, academic score, as well as the experience score. So I'm not surprised this candidate I actually applied to a sales development role, whereas she's a biologist, which is why the experience is slightly low, but definitely she's got a master's degree, and you can see that's how the scores kind of give you get a feel of will this candidate fit the role or not. We also have a skill assessment score. Now this again defines whether a candidate will be able to succeed in a particular job role or not, because every job role will have certain primary skills that are required, and we are assessing based on situation, and the candidate is responding on a Likert scale of 1 to 7 on the basis of agreeableness to a statement. You have a whole score presented here. You have the video score, which looks at professionalism, energy level, communication, and sociability, and of course the video response here. If you've asked any questions, then you're able to also look at what is the response that they have given to the questions, and here is your feedback section. If you'd like to give your feedback, you can just give a feedback and you can save it as well. Once you save all this information, let's say if I want to jump into another candidate, I can simply go here and the information will be all saved for you. In the event that you would like to share this candidate with someone else, now let's take a quick look at how do you share a candidate's profile. Sharing a candidate's profile is really very simple. The first option that you have, if you like this candidate's profile, all you have to do is click on this and hit on the share his profile. Once you hit on share his profile, you have to enter your stakeholder's email ID. And if you'd like to leave a note, good candidate, please review. And then you can share it with the stakeholder as well. If you would like to share a list of candidates, then in that case, all you have to do is just go back into the interview that you were looking or you're planning to share candidates from. You can select certain candidates, all right? And I'm going to share all these 4 candidates and hit the share selected candidates. In this case, it will draft an automatic email subject. You can also again give a list name, str list. I'm going to add an email ID here. And do not forget to hit enter after you enter an email ID and then hit share. Once I share these candidates, once you go into your email ID, you will be able to see all your candidates that have been shared with you. So let's look at the first one. So remember, I shared one candidate by using share this profile. Good candidate review. I can click on this view candidate Or let's look at my second email that was STR list, and I had all the 4 candidates here. And once I click on view candidates, this will now take me to a validation page where I have to validate with my email ID because our platform is GDPR and PDPA compliant. And here you see all the 4 candidates that I shared are right here. Now, once I look at this candidate, the stakeholder has actually not logged into the platform. So just entered the validated the email ID and is getting access to the resume, the LinkedIn profile if it's mentioned, details, can shortlist, reject, they can look at the candidate's profile. All the profile information will be available here. And this is the candidate that we looked at earlier, and then they can leave a feedback as well. So I already gave a feedback here. I can leave some notes here as well. Once I leave a note on a particular candidate's profile and I am going back into the listing, I will be able to see the feedback that the hiring manager or the stakeholder has provided, which means now you would be notified that Manoj has already viewed the profile and the hiring manager's rating is right here. So whenever a stakeholder leaves a feedback, you get it notified and you also get an update in the candidate's digital profile as well. So this is how you will be able to share candidates' profile with people who do not even have access to the platform. But ensuring that candidate's data is protected, we will validate the person who's accessing the candidate information. I hope this helps. Thank you. We'll be showing you how to share candidates in my next session. Thank you. Let's take a quick look at the talent pool section. Talent pool section gives you a holistic view of all the candidates that have applied to the jobs. Irrespective of which jobs they are tagged to, you will be able to see all the candidates in one page. You can see some numbers that helps you understand how many candidates are at what stage and what is the status of their application as well. We also give you the data that's available as well, so you can take a quick look at this information. You can filter down, you can type in a candidate's information, and you can also use this column headers as filters to just sort your data that's available for you. So you can do a sorting right here. You can also sort by the status. This helps you fill in a future position, and we are also planning to release a recommendation mechanism which will also be activated in this section for certain paid clients. If you would be interested in that, please feel free to reach us out. Thank you. Now we've seen how do we create an interview, add candidates, and then we share those candidates. Let's take a quick look at the Insights section. The Insights section will have some default settings here, so you are able to see the total counts of candidates across certain stages. You can also see the candidate's location, diversity. You can look at the various job titles, college or universities, the education graph, the source of application, and most importantly, the emails sent for a certain job, how many have opened and have taken action or responded to it. These insights are set by default. We do customize insights for our enterprise clients. Should you have interest in that, please feel free to reach out to us.